My name is Marta Idowu, and I'm with the City of Seattle, and we have a canoes group that we have that we all get together as an affinity group, and we put on Indigenous Peoples Day every year. And so I just want to thank all my group that are here today for all the work that they've done to put this event together today. It takes a village to do all this, and we've had it, and we really appreciate that. We have sponsors, and we'll be talking about them a little bit later. But without further ado, I want to go ahead on and start the program. First of all, I'd like to call up Workman. He's going to come up and do a prayer for us. Workman.
Thank you, my friends. It is good to see you again.
Speak really loud.
Harstad beatsid. Harstad beatsid de siaya. Ja just uppstids da hatte doa. It is good to see you, my friends. I am Workman of the Duwamish tribe. And great grandson of Chief Seattle. 2 years ago, we gathered here in this large building, this Heikwa'a City Hall, and we beat our drums and we sang our songs. And it is so very good to see all these familiar faces here again, to hear the magic of these drums beating, the magic of your voices. So I would like to say thank you. And so we have so many people here from all around the world. And so we know these words, this word of Gunulchish. This is the word of thank you from the Tlingit tribe. And so when we say this word, the Tlingit people know that we, the people in this place, recognize them, and we thank them for their presence, and we thank them for their hearts and their minds and their souls. And so we say Gunulchish to our Tlingit friends from Alaska. And we say Hawa. We say Hawa to the Haida Gwaii, the neighbors of the Tlingit, because that is their word for thank you. And we want them to know that when we express these words that we see them and we appreciate them, and that they are here on this land named after my great-great-great-great-grandfather. And we say Deutsch come to the Tsimshian, who are the neighbors of the Haida. And we say Tleiko Tleiko to the Makah and to the Nuchinalt, because these are their words for thank you. If you're up near Lummi and Saanich places on the border with Victoria and Vancouver and Bellingham, make sure you say Haiska, because this is the word that they use. And just north, the Tulalip's and the Snohomish use Tig. And so when you hear us say, O Tigwitsi, Twadugwi Hutch, I am in the state of thanking them in their own language for their hearts. Twadugwi Wolof for their strength. Twadugwi Gwasis Hide for their wisdom. Right here, in this place, the Suquamish, the Duwamish, the Snoqualmie, the Muckleshoot, the Puyallup, the Stilikum, we use Kwadi. And so when you hear me say yes, Kwadida Twadugwi Bashid up at the Shugs Seattle, Oslak Hill, I am simply thanking you for walking down 4th Avenue on the streets of Seattle to get here today. And then we have our neighbors to the south. We have the Chehalis, we have the Nisqually, we have the Cowlitz, we have the Chinook. And their word is Masi. So when you hear Hayo Masi, you know who these people are, and we know who they are, and we express our same thanks. If you travel east of the mountains, the Cascades and the Rockies, and you run into the Lakota, make sure you say Pila Maila Yalo or Pila Maila Ye. Generically, Wapila Tonka, because this is how they say thank you, the Lakota people that we have here. And so we express our special thanks to Councilmember Sawant and Lakota member Matt Remley, because it was their work that made this day, this Indigenous Day, possible here in Seattle. And so we say, well, pila tonka, siaya, tuadagwi heko ayayu, tuadagwi hach, for their work and for their hearts. And if you should find yourself way on the other side of this Turtle Island and you end up in the land of the Quebec, the land of the Algonquin, the Ojibwe, make sure you say Miigwech, because these people are here too. And so we express our thanks in as many ways as we can. And finally, we express our thanks to the Creator when we say, thank you, Creator, for your children. To grandmother and grandfather's life. Because we recognize our relatives are in the ground, they're in the soil, they're in the very trees, and that we are all a part of this. And so when we give our thanks to the Creator, and we say, that we see you, grandmother and grandfather, in the food that's on the table today. And so we give thanks to our Creator for all of our blessings. And finally, we recognize that the world is a very small place today. And so just as my grandfather stood on the shores of Alki 171 years ago, and he said, come ashore, my friends, onto this land. Onto this land of the ancient Duwamish. You are invited here. Today it is my honor to repeat those words, the words of my grandfather when I say, and Gwigwihidak. This word, Gwigwihidak, means the whole world is welcome here. And so I'd like to conclude with simply, Gwigwihidak, Gwigwihidak, Gwigwihidak. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a gift for you, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me give you a hand. Thank you. I just wanted to say, so you'll have a little bit of information about Ken Workman. Ken Workman is a Native American from Duwamish tribe and fifth generation grandson of Chief Seattle. Ken retired from the Boeing company's flight operations engineering group, where he worked as a systems data analyst. Ken is a Duwamish Tribal Council member and board member of Duwamish Tribal Services, which is a nonprofit arm of the Duwamish tribe. He is a former board member of the Duwamish River Cleanup Coalition and of the Southwest Seattle Historical Society. Ken lives in Seattle on the shores of Puget Sound. We want to thank him. Now I'd like to call up Kayla Harstad, and she is going to give our land acknowledgement. Kayla Harstad, Turtle Mountain Chippewa, 19 years old, is a freshman at the University of Washington. She is a first-generation college scholar. She has served as an intern at UNEA for the past 3 years. During her time at Ingram High School, she co-authored a land acknowledgement for the Ingram community and was in collaboration with Bishop Planchet's Legacy Club for their moniker removal. As far as the future, she plans on working in Indigenous education and nonprofit work. So with that, I will turn it over to Kayla Harstad. Thank you.
This is the Clear Sky Land Acknowledgement. we acknowledge that we are in the homeland of Duwamish people, the first people of this land and the Snoqualmie, Suquamish, Tulalip, and Muckleshoot tribes. We raise our hands to honor all descendants of the Duwamish and Coast Salish people. We thank them for their hospitality as the first people of this land and for our continuing use of the natural resources of their ancestral homeland. We recognize the immense, immeasurable, and often unrecognized contributions and sacrifices of the Coast Salish and Indigenous people, and we acknowledge the ongoing disparities, racism, and political invisibility experienced by Coast Salish and Indigenous peoples of this land. Thank you.
Thank you. And then these are gifts for you. You're so welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Kayla. That was a wonderful job. We really appreciate you. Great job. We love our youth coming to Indigenous Peoples Day to speak, and we always make sure there's a place for them here at the podium. And thank you again, Kayla. Now, we are going to get into the greeting and welcome and the proclamation part, which is the official part of our program. And I am so excited to have Senior Deputy Mayor Monisha Harrell here today, who is going to speak and give the greeting, welcome, and then the proclamation. But let me just say a few words about her. Senior Deputy Mayor Monisha Harrell is responsible for helping define and implement Mayor Bruce Harrell's agenda, working with major stakeholders and on key priorities, including public safety. The governor and attorney have appointed her to serve on task forces and working groups addressing police accountability, independent investigations involving police use of force, and hate crimes. She also serves as board chair for Equal Rights Washington and is a member of the National LGBTQ Task Force Action Fund, and it's with my pleasure I ask that Senior Deputy Mayor Monisha come forward and give her a round of applause, please.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here today on the city's first federal acknowledgement of Indigenous Peoples Day. Our joint history is one that is obviously very troubled. We understand that the history and the structure that we are built on is deeply flawed, but that doesn't mean that we cannot do everything we can to make it better. That is part of our work and that is part of our mission. As a representative of the city of Seattle, I would like to impress upon all of you that we understand that the work of the city is that to not just acknowledge our past, but to repair it, to do everything that we can on behalf of our people, the people of Seattle, and the people who were here before this city was actually a city. The importance of seeing all people and seeing what we offer is not to make it a melting pot, but to acknowledge those things that individually make us better. It's not to become the gray in the middle. It is to enhance and invite and highlight those things which make us unique and special. Our native cultures that occupied this land each had their own histories, their own cultures, the things that they brought to this area that made the Pacific Northwest special. And it is not to blend them all together, but to acknowledge each of those different cultures and what they brought to the heritage of Seattle. It is with honor today that I bring to you the City of Seattle's proclamation for Indigenous Peoples Day, and I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Councilmember Sawant for your work in keeping all of this, all of our equity issues at the forefront. Thank you. Whereas the city of Seattle recognizes that the indigenous peoples of the lands that would later become known as the Americas have occupied these lands since time immemorial, and that Seattle is built upon the homelands and villages of the indigenous peoples of this region, without whom the building of the city would not have been possible. And whereas the city values the many contributions made to our community through indigenous peoples' knowledge, labor, technology, science, philosophy, arts, and the deep cultural contribution that has substantially shaped the character of the city of Seattle. And whereas the city of Seattle has a responsibility to oppose the systemic racism towards indigenous people in the United States, which perpetuates high rates of poverty and income inequality, exacerbating disproportionate health, education, and social crises. And whereas the city promotes the closing of the equity gap for indigenous peoples through policies and practices that reflect the experiences of indigenous peoples, ensure greater access and opportunity, and honor our nation's indigenous roots, history, and contributions. And whereas Indigenous Peoples Day was first proposed in 1977 by a delegation of Native nations to the United Nations-sponsored International Conference on Discrimination Against Indigenous Populations in the Americas, and whereas in 2014, the Mayor, City Council of Seattle, and Seattle Human Rights Commission declared the second day of October as Indigenous Peoples Day to promote tolerance, understanding, and friendship, and to combat prejudice and eliminate discrimination stemming from colonization. And on March 29th, 2022, the City Council unanimously passed Ordinance 126559, establishing Indigenous Peoples Day as a legal holiday. Now, therefore, the Seattle City Council and Mayor of Seattle do hereby proclaim October 10th, 2022 to be Indigenous Peoples Day. We commemorate and support Indigenous peoples and encourage all businesses, organizations, public institutions, and city residents to recognize this day and honor the legacy and contribution of Seattle's American Indian, Alaskan Native, and Indigenous communities who have been here since time immemorial. Thank you.
Now, I'd like to introduce our next speaker that's going to be coming up, Councilmember Kshama Sawant. Everybody knows who she is, and we love her, and we think she's amazing. Kshama Sawant is the socialist on the Seattle City Council. She worked with Matt Rimley and others in the urban Native community to pass the first Indigenous Peoples Day legislation in 2014. The year after, she sponsored legislation recognizing the traumatic experience of the Indian boarding schools. She has marched and spoken at Indigenous Peoples Day every year since it began. Seattle City Council member Kshama Sawant. If you could please come up, we'd love to have you come up and say a few words.
Happy Indigenous Peoples Day, everyone. I know some of you already heard me at Westlake, so I hope you don't mind hearing me once again and don't get bored. Solidarity with the Duwamish and all Coast Salish peoples of Seattle and the Pacific Northwest. As Marta mentioned, we won the end of Columbus Day celebration in 2014 and instituted Indigenous Peoples Day in Seattle. And that came after years of the indigenous community and leaders, many leaders like Matt Rimley himself, having, asked over and over again in City Hall and getting a closed door. And then in 2014, we won, as I was saying earlier, at Westlake. We won only because my socialist office, we took and we have always taken a movement building approach to our elected office, where we don't believe that change can be won, because we know history shows us this. Change cannot be won. Progressive change cannot be won on the basis of a few elected officials making backroom deals and selling out working people and maybe getting just the bare minimum. But instead, the real way to win is for the movement, for the communities themselves to have their own elected office, and an elected office that fights alongside the community as opposed to with people in power. It is because we used that approach that finally we were able to win Indigenous Peoples Day. And then on the basis of that victory, we were able to win many other resolutions. In 2015, we succeeded in getting the City Council to vote yes on a resolution condemning the horrendous United States boarding school policy. In 2016, we passed a resolution in solidarity with the Standing Rock Sioux tribe and other activists in their fight against the Dakota Access Pipeline. And we built on that by winning in 2017 legislation forcing City Council to divest more than $3 billion from Wells Fargo, because that's the bank that provided hundreds of billions of dollars to the Dakota Access Pipeline and other fossil fuel projects. And in 2020, through the People's Budget campaign, we won $15,000 a year of stable funding for the celebration. So this celebration and the lunch that we will have, the celebration that we will have later this evening at daybreak, this is all product of what we have won together as a community, forcing the city establishment to acknowledge Indigenous people. As we know, this is not symbolic for us. We know that our celebration of Indigenous Peoples Day is very much interlinked with our ongoing struggle for a society where all people can get respect, dignity, and a very high standard of living, and we are far from that. In fact, right now, concretely, since we are in City Hall right now, unfortunately, the City Council at this moment is all set to pass a budget for next year that cuts existing funding from critical social services, let alone expand the funds that fully covers the needs of our community, whether it is public school needs, social housing, and addressing homelessness, or the opioid crisis that our communities face. None of these problems are going to really be addressed, but not only that, funding is going to be cut, and you will hear politicians saying that they are doing great things, but I'm sorry, they're not going to be speaking the truth when they say that. So let's fight for our rights, and that means concretely pushing back and putting forward our own demands. So tomorrow at 4:15, we are going to be gathering for the public hearing on the budget. And I urge you all to join us because the only way we have won anything in the budget is through the People's Budget campaign. Very important to note is that the mayor's budget will not cut a penny from the bloated Seattle Police Department. And this is very important for the Indigenous community because Indigenous, Black, and other communities of color, alongside low-income people, working-class people, and the poor, not to mention the homeless, have seen the brunt of police violence. And we have shown through our past experience that we can actually push back and win. However, a sobering note also comes from the fact that despite the George Floyd rebellion being the largest street protest movement in US history, the victories that have been won by the movement are not commensurate with the scale of the movement. And that is a sober reminder for all of us that whether we are talking about elected officials or unelected people in social movements, we have to demand accountability, and the only way to get that kind of accountability is to organize democratically and independently built mass movements that put forward concrete demands. We need our own representatives, whether it is elected office or unelected leaders in movements, who stand up to the establishment and will work alongside us, not think that they are going to get something by cozying up to people in the elite. And that's the same approach that we will need if we are to win anything close to a Green New Deal. We are so far from it. You know, the Green New Deal of Seattle on paper says that we are going to end climate pollution of the city by 2030. That is just 8 years away, and we are nowhere close to it. And in fact, the results have gone backward. And that is why, again, it is very crucial that we understand the lessons of past victories and defeats. This will also be necessary for us to defeat the growing threat of the right wing, including the brutal attacks on women and the LGBTQ community. And we know this is very much an indigenous issue, it is a black issue, it is a working class issue. The activists in the missing and murdered indigenous women movement have shared so many statistics that show us the crisis is bad. But look at the kind of leadership we have. The Supreme Court, the reactionary Supreme Court, just carried out the most severe attack on women's and LGBTQ rights by repealing Roe v. Wade. How are we going to push back against this, let alone reverse these kinds of defeats? We are going to need to build mass movements with the correct kind of leadership, and we are going to have to put forward concrete demands that can win victories in the process. That is why my office fought in July to make Seattle the first abortion rights sanctuary in the city, in the country, sorry. And actually, after we won, we also saw socialists on the Chicago City Council. They won a similar victory, making Chicago an abortion rights sanctuary. We have Dane County in Wisconsin, which is, remember, Wisconsin is a right-wing state. It is a trigger ban state. Abortion could be banned in that state. And socialists and working people there courageously took on the Republican establishment and made Dane County an abortion rights sanctuary. All of this is important, but it's not going to be enough. That is why in this year's People's Budget campaign, my office and People's Budget activists have brought forward a demand that abortion access should be made free for all, whether you live in Seattle or you come to Seattle for abortion services. And that abortion access, free abortion access, should be funded by expanding the Amazon tax, which is a tax on big business that our movement won alongside the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020. Do you think this is important? So, if you think it is important, then join us tomorrow, as I said, at 4:15 p.m. We're going to be gathering right here in the lobby of City Hall and then going up to Chambers for the public hearing, where each of you will have either 1 or 2 minutes. You know, that's not in my hands. The budget chair will decide that. But let's make sure that our voices are heard, because the only way we have won is by hundreds of people, ordinary people. You don't have to be an elected official. Ordinary people showing up to speak in public comment. And so I urge you all to join us tomorrow with the People's Budget campaign. Let's make our voices heard. Let's jam up public hearing tomorrow by having hundreds of people saying, we want the funding for free abortion access by expanding the Amazon tax. If you haven't already signed the petition, if the community organizers from my office are going around, make sure you sign the petition so that we can get organized for tomorrow. The final budget vote will happen on the Monday before Thanksgiving. So we have just over a month or so to win this thing. That's not a very long time, so I urge you to show up tomorrow. In closing, I just wanted to share with you all how much this means to me personally. As many of you know, I am from India, so I'm another kind of Indian because Columbus thought he was going to India, and then he came here and he called you Indians. We have a common bond, and I don't just mean the Indian community here and people in India, but oppressed people and working people internationally share a bond because we are all oppressed and exploited by the system of capitalism. And so we urgently need to build solidarity, but the right kind of solidarity. Solidarity not with the politicians who uphold a bad system, not with the billionaires who exploit our land and our people, not with the banks, not with Wall Street, but solidarity with people on the ground who suffer just like us and who may have a different skin color. They may be from a different community, but if they are working people who are exploited and oppressed like us, then that's whom the solidarity needs to be with, and we need to defeat the divide and conquer strategy that the ruling class uses relentlessly against us. So I hope you carry the beautiful sound of the reverberating sacred drums that come here in October every year since 2014. And remember that those sounds are not just about saying we won Indigenous Peoples Day, but about reminding ourselves how much of the fight lays ahead of us and what we will need to actually win those struggles. So I hope you will all join me. Solidarity.
Thank you again. Let's give her a hand. Dr. Sawant. Thank you. Now it's time for our keynote speaker. Tleena Ives is an adaptive leader, athlete, educator, and author rooted in Port Gamble, Kalam tribal values. She carries the ancestral name Haha Mu. As a goal-oriented Kalam woman, she is a two-time Ironman triathlete, Boston Marathon finisher, mother, daughter, and sister living on the Port Madison Indian Reservation, Washington. Tleena has served in many leadership positions in both state and tribal governments, working in early childhood, child welfare education, and curriculum development. Currently, she serves as the Tribal Relations Director for the Washington State Department of Children, Youth, and Families. And she currently teaches as an adjunct course at Western Washington University on tribal sovereignty. Her children's book, Tawasna, was developed in 2014, was developed through a series of conversations with mothers in her community about the wishes and dreams for Kalama children, and it was written in the Coastal Salish language. Tleena has a master's in organizational leadership from Gonzaga University and bachelor's in indigenous education from Evergreen State University. It is with my pleasure and honor to introduce to you Tleena Ives.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay? Let me get this a little bit higher. Okay, so what was missing from my bio is that I am from the first graduating class of the Port Gamble S'Klallam Tribal Head Start. Any other Head Start grads here? Shout out to all the Head Start grads, to all of the parents, to all of the teachers, to all of our preschool children who are here today. What a blessing to be able to have our children from Daybreak Star bless us with a song and a dance. I raise my hand to all of you, honorable people. I'm here to share my experience and to share today that Head Start works. Even better when it is run from the values of our tribal people. Being in Head Start was an important journey in my life. The teachings reinforced my language, songs, dances, and culture. I also learned a little bit about leadership from those early days. I remember being able to teach my family paddle dance at Head Start. And it's from that paddle dance that we learn very valuable cultural teachings. Chinikwa. Chinikwa is our word in Sklallam for thunder, for the thunderbird. Chinikwa is the paddle dance that teaches us that in the wind, the rain, and the water, or other elements along our journey that bring us through the storms, that we can draw on our strengths to dig deep, to pull hard, and to work together towards a common destination. The paddle dance is a way to prepare us for life in and out of the canoe. It reminds us that as Nukayat Nuksklayam, the Port Gamble Sklalams, that we are the strong and the clever people, that we can fight the thunder to steer life's journeys. The paddle dance also teaches us that we are part of a collective and that we are all connected. We belong to each other, and we have sacred responsibilities to each other as kin-centric members of our communities. Our stories, our songs, our dances guide us in timeless teachings. Tribal Head Start and early learning provide culturally based education like no other. Tribal nations have an inherent sovereign right over how to educate their children in a culturally relevant manner. I have felt the success of this as a Tribal Head Start graduate, where my identity was affirmed, supported, and nurtured. It is where I have felt the benefit of the healing from culture and traditions. Education is truly healing. I have been invited here today as we celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day to add to the theme of since time immemorial, a term that we use that connects us to this place as told by our creation stories since the beginning of time. It is also the legislation, the law that requires the teaching of Washington tribal history, culture, and sovereignty. I'd be remiss if I didn't take a moment to also acknowledge the very land that we are on, where our feet stand today. I would like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional lands of my ancestors, the Duwamish and the Suquamish people, two separate tribes that agreed under colonial duress to cede most of their traditional lands to the U.S. government in exchange for peace, education, healthcare, and monetary compensation, among other things. Most importantly, their rights to access natural resources and hunting, fishing locations were agreed to be reserved along with the segment of their traditional lands for time to continue living as the sovereign entities that they were pre-treaties and since time immemorial. This reserved land or reservation never manifested for the Duwamish, who were forced to accept a broken agreement in the treaty and relocate to neighboring tribes' reservations to integrate and enroll as one of their citizens or lose their access to treaty resources. Some chose to move and enroll elsewhere and integrate into other tribes. Some chose to stay here in King County and continue to maintain their distinct identity and fight for their treaty rights. Part of Since Time Immemorial encourages us to know this history. School districts are required to build relationships with local tribes, yet many people do not know the land that they are on. They forget that they are on Indigenous land. The erasure of our history has gone for too long. This leads to a way in which our people are often referred to in the past tense, neglecting to examine the ways in which we still strive today, since time immemorial tells our stories. Since time immemorial uses a place-based approach where inquiry is based on the context of tribes in their own communities. When I became a new mom, I had trepidation about leaving my daughter in her Head Start class. I volunteered often, and I wanted nothing more than for my children to be able to have that same strong beginning that I did. I found it frustrating that language was not being taught in our classrooms, especially for the most crucial time in their brain development. I looked for grants to support the traditional foods and plants for incorporation into the curriculum. I was quickly hired as the cultural specialist and developed curricula for the Suquamish Tribal Head Start. It was my goal to help our children to feel welcome, seen, at home in their own classrooms. Language and stories nurture our children. I now serve as the Director of Tribal Relations for the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. From my experience as a mother and in my profession, I recommend that our Native children receive automatic eligibility in our Early Childhood Education Assistance Program, our state-funded preschool. So, I'm gonna ask you all to join me and say this with me. On the count of 3, I'm going to count in S'Klallam, and I'm gonna ask you to join me in saying, free preschool for all tribal children. Natsu, Chesa, Tliu. Free preschool for all tribal children. Yeah, thank you. I knew I could count on my sons to help bring on that callback, so thank you. One of my proudest areas of impact in the work that I've had the privilege of doing at the Department of Children, Youth, and Families has been in the ability to influence some of our policies, especially those related to our state-funded preschool, where we looked specifically at eligibility and priority points. Points that are given to children. This is a new addition that just happened in the last year. So priority points are given to children who have had a relative that attended boarding school. The research shows a direct correlation between the trauma endured by boarding school survivors and their descendants, the health outcomes and educational outcomes. Attainments do not fare well. Education is healing. Colonialism has taught us to hate ourselves. For some of us, it has stripped our language and used education as a weapon against us. My grandma attended the Port Gamble Indian Day School, a boarding school whose main objective was to kill the Indian and save the man. She traveled by canoe across the Port Gamble Bay to get to school. When she showed up, she became the teacher, while the fat white man from the BIA slept in the back of the classroom. Homework for her included bringing in Indian artifacts, which her teacher kept and sold. Today, on Indigenous Peoples Day, I share with you my favorite Indigenous person, my grandma, Geneva Ives. Who's your favorite Indigenous person? My grandma Geneva, she went on to become the first Indian to graduate from North Kitsap High School in 1943. And it wasn't for another 20 years that another Native graduated from high school. She did this at a time when racism was rampant and policies were created. The curriculum didn't reflect who she was, and everything about school threatened to extinguish her identity. Since then, she has paved the way for many of her children, her grandchildren, her greats, her Deisha, her family and friends, to be able to follow in her footsteps. By the way, while I have everybody's attention, I'd like to make another call for action that North Kitsap High School be renamed Geneva Ives High School. Yeah. My Uncle Gene Jones also shares a story about when he attended the Indian Day School, where his non-native teacher shared that the Sklallam people were basically dead. Gene Jones, who was 10 and Sklallam, raised his hand in objection. The teacher said, "If you write a report and document the history of your tribe, I'll believe you." My uncle went out trying to find the written records of his community, but couldn't find anything. He then went home to his mom in tears. The late Billy Frank Jr. reminds us we must tell our stories, as sovereignty is not just about defining our future, it's also about writing our history. It's about being the author of our history. It's about telling our stories. So I ask all of you here today to spend time with our elders and our children to pass on the richness of who we are. So I have another call back for you to join me in, and on the count of 3, would like you to repeat after me to tell your story. Natsu, Chesa, Tliu. Tell your story. Thank you. I plan to do this by writing a children's book about my grandma's experience in boarding school. I've been inspired by my friend and mentor, Monique Grace Smith from the Cree Nation, who has worked closely with tribal elders and tribal leaders to inform and assist in implementing Canada's Truth and Reconciliation Commission, the TRC. Monique has written lots of children's books about reconciliation. It seems like quite a big concept for children to understand what reconciliation is, but she demonstrates this beautifully in her books about joy and the things that culture does to bring us happiness and healing. When I had the pleasure of interviewing Monique, she shared this powerful message: the lasting impacts from residential schools for 7 generations. There are children who left school who are not able to answer these sacred questions. Who am I? Where am I going? Why am I here? What's my path? And how do I contribute to the wellness of the world? These are the questions that we are addressing in our own reconciliation. By the way, Monique has also co-authored with Robin Kimmerer the new adolescent version of Braiding Sweetgrass, which will be released on November 1st. Look for her book. Tulalip tribal member and Washington State Senator John McCoy championed the legislation of Since Time Immemorial, which is rooted in a commitment to tribal sovereignty and acknowledges the importance of Native students' educational experience related to the commitment and promise of the Centennial Accord, Millennial Agreement, and our government-to-government relationships. The curriculum itself provides information and lesson plans that facilitate learning with Native people rather than about them. I love this. It reminds me of Nothing About Us Without Us. Tribal sovereignty requires not only Native voices in the content of the curriculum, but the active cultivation of government-to-government relationships between schools and tribes. In addition to enhancing educational experiences for Native students, tribal sovereignty education provides the groundwork to shift the mainstream thinking regarding tribes, encouraging greater protection of tribal sovereignty by non-natives. There's benefits for everyone. The teaching of Since Time Immemorial is a step toward social justice. It is an anti-racist education that helps us to be mindful of the curriculum, the choice of materials, the policies, the teacher interactions with the children and the families. And it disrupts misconceptions, untruths, and leads to equity in our classrooms. In a landmark study done in 2018, Reclaiming Native Truth, a project to dispel America's myths and misconceptions, the survey showed 72% of Americans have never encountered or sought information about Native Americans. 27 states make no mention of a single Native American in the K-12 curriculum. 87% of state history standards do not mention Native American history after 1900. And yet, there is an opportunity for hope. People want to know more. 75% of Americans believe it is necessary to make significant changes to school curricula on Native history and culture. In Washington, we are making steps to create that change. Besides the K-12 curriculum, we also have this in early learning. The Department of Children, Youth, and Families supports the training of since time immemorial to our youngest learners. In 2017, the curriculum was developed by the Puget Sound Educational School District's Native American Early Learning Project alongside tribal leaders for the pilot and the creation of this curriculum. How amazing is that the concepts related to sovereignty are introduced as early as preschool? Thank you. And besides K-12, we also see this in colleges and universities that have a requirement. In 2018, Senate Bill 5028 was signed to extend the state's commitment to educate students about tribal sovereignty, history, culture, and treaty rights by requiring educator preparation programs to also use the since time immemorial curriculum. I have the pleasure of being able to teach a couple of these classes at Western Washington University in their BA program in early childhood and elementary education. Speaking of colleges, have you heard of the Indian Land Grab Moral Act? It was signed a long time ago by Abraham Lincoln, who that same year hung 38 natives. This act redistributed 10.7 million acres of land. That is the size of Denmark, from more than 250 tribal nations for the nearly $500 million that went to benefit 52 land-grant colleges endowments. For example, for my people, the Sklalams, that land grab from the 1855 treaty, it was taken and sold for the benefit of 12 universities, some as far away as South Carolina. Yet the largest share of that land taking was to Washington State University. Washington State University specifically had a times 417 return on the land that they grabbed from 17 tribal nations. So besides the call to action today for free preschool to all of our tribal children, I ask you to join me in getting loud about the truth in how much money colleges continue to make from expropriated lands. Stolen Indigenous lands must result in the truth-telling and in Native student tuition waivers. Join me in the count of 3. We are going to say Native student tuition waivers. Natsu, Chesa, Pliu. Native student tuition waivers. Thank you. I hope that from today, that the stories that I shared will be able to show how since time immemorial strengthens tribal sovereignty, strengthens the relationships with tribes, state, and local communities, supports the identity of our Native children, reduces and eliminates stereotypes and ignorance about Native people, and it helps with the intercultural understanding, empathy, and respect. Join me in the spirit of since time immemorial by finding ways that we can make additional impactful changes. Free preschool for tribal children. Tell our stories. Native student tuition waivers for all Indigenous students. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Hatningsin.
Okay, let's give her another hand for she did such an excellent job. Our keynote speaker, Tleena Ives. Now we're at the point where we are going to be calling up our groups to perform. You guys ready out there? Are my performers ready and ready to come up? Matt Rimley, Owaste, are you here? We're waiting for Owaste to come up. Can we get Owaste? Owaste. I got it now. You guys have to come up here, though. We want to see you on. And Matt Rimley is going to say something about their group, and then they're going to perform. So let's give a little applause for them.
Matakia pi chante wastea nape chuza lakoya wakiwanatan machia wachichuya Matt Rimley machia. Good to be here today. We're going to offer up a few songs. Owaste Lakota translates to be healing. Healing oneself, so we're going to offer up a few songs, so thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to the next group, which is the Raven Clan Singers. They are a new family group and are members of the Seattle Haida community. They are 4 generations from the Haida Raven Clan, Double Fin Killer, Whale Crest, and Brown Bear House, descending from Heidelberg, Alaska. They continue to carry on the songs and language of their ancestors. So without further ado, I'd like to have the Raven Clan Singers come up. Thank you so much.
We are the Raven Double Fin Clan from Heidelberg, Alaska. Glungwadlawan Unkilt Logan. We are happy to be here, and we thank you for joining with us. We're going to do the friendship song. We put up 2 hands if you join us. This is a gesture of welcome, praise, thanksgiving, and friendship. And when we do this with other groups, we always say we welcome people from other countries who are here to make a better life for their families. We say welcome, and we have the right to do that. We are Indigenous. In 1987, the Haida Gwaii people of British Columbia made a stand against the logging companies and the government of Canada for clear-cutting the forests on their land. Their concerns were not listened to until the grandmothers, the nanas of the Haida people, stood across the logging roads. They locked arms and they sang this song, which has become our national anthem. It's the Haida National Anthem. If you'd like to stand with us as a gesture of unity, please do so.
We are a matrilineal society, and all of us come from the Raven clan, and so we're going to do our Raven, one of our clan songs right now called Alice Ayat. And we realized we are the song keepers of our clan songs, and so we formed our group to keep our clan songs alive. Ho'a.
Generations in our group. Haidas have no word for goodbye. Instead, we say, Harstad Hinsan, we'll see you again.
Wonderful time today. I hope you guys have too. It's been wonderful. You have all been great out there. We've had a wonderful, wonderful day. I want to thank everyone for coming. I want to just kind of acknowledge our food, that we are appreciative of the people who did the food for us. And I had a card there. It looks like somebody took the card because they liked the food so much. Oh, I found it. It is livingforflavor@gmail.com. Chef Olivia Ford. She did our food today. It was amazing, and I hope you all had a chance to eat some of it and everything. So I hope you had a chance to enjoy it. And one of the things I wanted to kind of say as we close, that we have a 4 o'clock at daybreak that we want to make sure if you're all out there and you want to have a celebration and have more food to eat, is a salmon meal. It's going to be at daybreak, Star, United Indians of All Tribes. And the other thing I wanted to say is that some of the things that we're trying to do when we do Indigenous Peoples Day, we want to reflect on our community, and we want to reflect on the history, and we want to make sure that the city has like so many languages that they do, at least 7 to 10, that we as city employees use when we are reaching out to the community. Well, we decided that we wanted to make sure that languages for our native are recognized as well. Lushootseed is one of them, and we actually had them, Nancy Bob, she translated this flyer for us, so we would have that to start off the process. The other thing that we did was have her do a translation of the Proclamation. So we wanted, that's how we try to do things, is incorporate history and make sure that there's seen in the community what our Native people are doing. They're so talented. There's a history of wealth and utilizing every piece of every part of an animal or whatever we're trying to harvest. It's all utilized. Nothing is wasted. The land is cared for and loved, and we need to make sure that we value that. And it seems like everyone is being so destructive about and not caring about the community and not caring about the land, and we want to focus in on that. So I just wanted to just throw that out there. And then at this point, I also wanted to thank a lot of the folks that have been instrumental in doing this event with us and supporting in big ways for us, and we really appreciate them. Our own group, the Canoes, our group, I wish a lot of our group were here, but they're doing other things and helping out. But we wanted to recognize Seattle City Councilmember Deborah Juarez, United Indians of All Tribes, Seattle Neighborhoods, Potlatch Fund, the RSJI Summit, Arts and Culture, the Seattle Public Library, Councilmember Kshama Sawant, Seattle City Council, and there's just a logo. I don't know what the group name is, but it's just their logo, and it doesn't say, and I can't remember what the name of the group was, but I apologize. And so I just wanted to make sure that we recognize those that have been working and doing things in the community, and we appreciate all the collaboration we have with all the groups that we work with to put on this event. And so that's pretty much the program today. I want to thank all of you for coming. I hope you had a wonderful day. I hope you have many more celebrations, but please be safe. Take good care of yourselves, and we will see you next year on Indigenous Peoples Day 2023. All right, thank you. Have a great afternoon, everybody.